isn't it?
Well, Pakistan feels that we have a leadership right now that is committed to democracy. I mean, everybody in Pakistan's government right now has either been to prison or has been in exile because of their belief in democracy. So that's a positive. We have a democratic government. Of course, it's a democratic government that's learning on the job, because being in exile and being in prison is not really a great training ground for running government. But they're learning, they're doing that. And at the same time, there is a great will to invest in our people, education, healthcare, infrastructure. There is more room for greater investment, even from private sector, from non-governmental organizations. Building up Pakistan and its people will be a better way of protecting the world against terrorism than having to wage endless war against terrorists. Because if you can just keep killing the terrorists and they keep on multiplying because of grievances in the Muslim world, then you will not be able to defeat them. If, on the other hand, we become a model of prosperity, we become a model of democracy, we become a model of pluralism, we have religious tolerance, non-Muslims and Muslims live under a constitution, a democratic constitution in Pakistan, then our society will become the model that will be the ideological answer to the terrorists and the extremists. So I think that the money that the Congress is investing in Pakistan is actually an investment, not just a handout. It's an investment in the future of a country that is vital to international security and to US national security.
Is there, this thought occurred to me last night as I was preparing for our conversation. There's the Iraq War. There's the Afghanistan war. Is there a third war now in Pakistan?
There is a war in Pakistan, but that war is being fought by Pakistanis with American support. It's not an American war. And that's the big difference. From the American point of view, it's the lowest cost war against the extremists, because all you're doing is help Pakistan, which has its own capacity.
Pakistani people want our help, but they don't want us in there, huh?
Well, and I don't think you need to be there, and I don't think you want to be there. You don't want to overstretch your troops, you don't want to overstretch your military capability, and Pakistan has one of the most effective militaries in the world. All we need is certain types of equipment, certain types of training. And look, even the investment the US has made in the past in the Pakistani military helps in global security. Pakistan's military goes and offers its services in global peacekeeping operations. So it's not money wasted. But what is needed now is investment in the people of Pakistan, because the more literate the people of Pakistan are, the better their Pakistani economy is, the greater the incentive for Pakistanis to resist extremists and to throw Osama bin Laden and his supporters totally out of our region, whether from Afghanistan or from the mountainous areas of Pakistan.
Is the military going to go into Waziristan?
The Pakistani military will conduct operations in all territories where the operations are needed. Waziristan is also an area where there is need for certain operations. Until now, of course, we have undertaken a very specific targeted operations to try and eliminate the leadership of the Taliban movement in Waziristan. Whether there will be a major ground offensive or not is something that will depend upon the ground realities there.
What's that person's name?
Baitullah Masood.
Masood. He's the one that everyone's after now, right?
Well, everyone's after him for various reasons, because he has trained a very large group of people to be suicide bombers.
And may have been responsible for the
assassination of Mohtarma Benazir Bhutto. And so yes, he is, and he has been very, he has been talking about threatening American troops in Afghanistan, threatening Pakistan's military, threatening Pakistan's security forces, and threatening Pakistani civilians. And not only that, even clerics who speak out against the Taliban and say we don't accept their explanation and version of Islam have been killed. We had a major assassination only 3 days ago.
Last couple of questions. Journalist for a long time, a writer, a diplomat, a distinguished career, a long time in the United States. What one lesson have you learned along the way that you use on a day-to-day basis to conduct yourself personally and professionally?
The world cannot be fixed. It needs to be understood. It's not an engineering problem for which there is one bullet and one solution. It needs to be understood, and you need to explain yourself, understand others' perspectives. There is a lot of understanding that is needed between nations, between individuals, and between people with different ideas. And that understanding can then help us build a much better world. And there will still not be perfect solutions.
How did you learn that?
I learned it primarily from disappointments, from finding solutions that were offered going wrong. Just to take the example of the war against the Soviets, the solution to communism in Afghanistan was Islamist jihadism. Well, guess what? Islamist jihadism ended up becoming a problem in itself. So sometimes the solution can become the problem later on. It's a constant process of understanding, revising, changing. People who think that they have found the perfect viewpoint and then harden in their beliefs, I think are the people who cause a lot more problems. I think people who are flexible in their worldview and point of view are the ones who can help create solutions which, if they become a problem, then prompt people to find a new solution.
Last question. What can the United States do to help Pakistan?
Well, the United States can, at this stage, continue to support the people of Pakistan, invest in them. Make the people of Pakistan feel that Americans care. If they feel that Americans care, then the hatred of the United States will diminish and bin Laden will lose the argument and the war.
Mr. Ambassador, thank you very much for
Pleasure.
our conversation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
For online video of all This Is America programs, visit our website, thisisamerica.net. This is America is brought to you by Hyundai Motor America, maker of the 2009 Sonata. The National Education Association, the nation's largest advocate for children and public education. The Rotendaro Family Trust, the CTC Foundation, and the American Life TV Network.